What's going on, guys? It's your boy the Cash Critic and welcome back to another New World video. This time around I want to go ahead and touch base with each and every single one of you guys regarding the player base for New World specifically. Obviously, of course, I had to whip out my Christmas hat again, Mr. Penguin, and a little bit of a fun fact: that is the top ornament to my tree because that is the only thing that actually does fit without hitting the ceiling. Now, I want to go ahead and take a little bit of a deeper dive regarding the numbers for New World, where it currently stands as a game as a whole, where the player base currently is as well since the Brimstone Sands release. So we're talking about 4 to 5 months ago through today's current state. Now, as always, before we jump into it, hit that like, hit that subscribe button down below, share it with a friend, and of course, happy holidays to each and every single one of you. And I hope you guys get to enjoy it with your families as well. So let's take a look and see what we're checking out today. All right, so from what you can see on my screen, it is New World. I had the chart here from the previous 6 months, and this is showing pretty much from July all the way through December, right? Now the month isn't necessarily completely over just yet. I know we still have about a week and a half left. Crazy to think of that. But you can see since the Brimstone Sands kind of launch, the player base has grown a ton, right? Drastically to say the least. Now, obviously, November, October hit around. We obviously got a lot of returning players back with not just Brimstone Sands, but also the seasonal events. A lot of new people coming into play. We had a Twitch event, right? Return to Eternum, which drove a lot of players come back to the game as well for some nice claims, some nice drops, which obviously all helps. And then not only that, the free player weekend that actually just ended last weekend. That obviously is going to bring a lot of people into the game and draw a lot of attention, because I know personally myself, I share that with a ton of my friends to hopefully get them to at least try the game, if not persuade them to ultimately purchase it as well. Now, as you can take a look here, like I said, you can check out the rest of the numbers. We're not going to go too in depth with anything previous to 6 months ago. But you can see, right, in July, they were averaging at just around 13,298 players, right? The peak around that time was 26,000 players. Now, in August, you can go ahead and see now it's starting to increase, right? They're doing the announcements of Brimstone Sands. They're getting ready for the releases of Brimstone Sands. Now we're at 16,000 average players and with a peak of 25,000, so a little bit lower. But this is where you see the massive and dramatic changes, right? Now we see in September, 25,000 average players with a peak of 45,000 in the month of September. And then we have October with an average amount of 34,700 players, and then with a peak of 69,605 players as well. And then November, right, 67,000 players with a peak of 137,000. And then the last 30 days within this current month, right, a little bit into the previous month, into this month, average amount of players is 47,000, and the peak amount is 86,000. Now, as you can see, obviously they've done a great job with Brimstone Sands with a lot of community feedback, and the devs have really been diving deep with us as well, keeping us informed, giving us the roadmaps, finally providing the attention that I think truly was needed for New World, because I think we felt, me as a player and us as a fan of the game, really felt the disconnect between Amazon Games, AGS, right, and New World themselves, not providing us that insight, not providing us that information that was needed to motivate us and to keep us going with the game, and noticing, hey, maybe it's not just Brimstone Sands that they decide to provide to us for free just to drive us back in and then pretty much just ditch us and keep us in the dark, but now they're keeping us informed, and which is something that I know I'm truly appreciative of, and I know many of you are as well, as we see the constant feedback in the threads, the forums of the official website itself. That's something I check out daily, and honestly, it's just something that they've really been living up to as well. So of course they've been pushing out roadmaps. They've been pushing out even just more videos with the dev team to, pretty much discussing anything, new weapons, as that was the topic of discussion. The territory updates that are coming down the line, right? Not only that, just been pushing a lot of kind of content regarding Twitch itself. I know they are currently having also the Amazon Prime gaming event as well to claim your rewards, so that's something that you can do as well. And just a bunch of things to kind of just tune in and engage the social experiment with New World to hopefully retain the players that they got from Brimstone Sands as well too. Now, as you can see, right, from August through November, they obviously have grown a ton with retaining, but also welcoming back a lot of new players, welcome back returning players into New World, and keeping them, which is key. That is the biggest thing, is keeping the players satisfied and wanting to play. Now, obviously, within the last 30 days, you see the player drop drastically. I shouldn't say drastically, right? We went from an average player base to 47,000 in the last 30 days, and the peak players so far at 86,000, which is obviously subject to change once the month is completed. But that is still really good if you think about it, right? That tops all the previous months. I know we weren't going to go back before 6 months, but before the Brimstone Sands update, really there wasn't really much of a player base. And I think if the game is able to consistently provide this amount of players and this kind of engagement to the audience and to the fans of New World, this is ultimately going to help it out a ton and obviously make them more eager to push out more content for us and keep them more intrigued and keep the player base and the socializing and the engagement as a whole very much so satisfied. Now, I personally, for many of you that don't know, I literally bought this game because of the Brimstone Sands update, and this game is the reason why I became a PC player as well. And honestly, I can't thank them enough for, I think, doing this at the right time, and I can't be grateful for jumping in as a PC player at the right time during this kind of outlet where they provide all this information at once, and they're continuing to provide that information. So let me know in the comments down below as well, guys, if you feel as though they've been engaging enough with the community, whether it's Twitter, YouTube videos, which they've been supporting a lot, their forums, their website itself, with Twitch, those events that they've been holding. Let me know in the comments down below if you think that's enough or if there's something more that they have to do. I personally think they've been doing great with at least keeping us in the know, as some could say. However, I do think they are a little bit slow with actually providing content in the game. I know they do a lot of bug fixes, and that's normal with any kind of game, but content itself, right? We need those new weapons. We need those mounts that they discussed about, let's say, 3 months ago at this point, right? We need a lot more balance, and we need those armor builds, right? And those are things that are going to be coming, of course, but it's just something that I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with the player demand. Now, will they continue to be able to hold the player base? I think so. I think they'll absolutely be able to do so, especially with it being a lot more easier to level up. And not only that, with the endgame content that they've been pushing a ton, I think it really is benefiting them. And they've honestly, as long as they keep up with the communication to the players, I think this is going to obviously retain a ton of the players to continue to play and to continue to grind and farm to get those claims, to get those rewards, whatever the case may be, right? Running those expeditions, doing those chest runs, which I've been doing a lot of as of recent, to try to obviously be prepared for the next update to come. So that's really all I wanted to talk about with you guys. Let me know as well in the comments down below if you think the strategy of them releasing these videos on YouTube, keeping us in the know, doing these Twitch events is helping them or benefiting you to continue to want to play New World, or if it isn't, right? This is open discussion in the comments, and I'd love to see the feedback, and let me know as well if you love the content that I'm providing as well. But that's pretty much everything, guys. I really do hope everyone has a great holiday if I don't see you again, and continue to support the channel, because obviously I love doing this, and I can't thank each and every single one of you enough for all the feedback and the support you've been providing me. So it's your boy, the Cash Critic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay blessed. Peace.